What's going on, creative people? This is Creativity is an Idea podcast, and I am your host, Pyeric. And today's guest is I don't know what to say now. Today's guest is Jason Jett.
Yeah, man.
I've known him for a long time now, and he's a musician, a songwriter, a producer, a sound engineer, and all that. And I won't say most of the things he does. He will tell you himself. And I've known him for quite a while. I know his significant other. And okay, I won't disclose everything now. So if you're watching or listening, just stay tuned and hear what he has to say. And maybe, or not maybe, what he has to say will help you shorten your time frame in terms of whatever you want to do now when it comes to being creative or getting some source of creativity from anywhere else. So stay tuned. And Jason Jett, it's a pleasure having you here. I'm
My,
very, very happy.
my
Trust
pleasure.
me. Believe me, I'm very happy for you being here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
as we all say, this is just going to be a conversation.
That'll work.
So tell me, Jason, who are you?
Man, I'm a lot of different things. Um, I like to be known as a guy who can, be creative in life and pursue different elements of life. So I don't like to just be one person. Sometimes I'm a home fixer upper. Sometimes I'm a singer. Sometimes
Uh,
I'm a musician, teacher, educator. But I like to say I'm more of a Renaissance kind of guy. Yeah,
wow. Because he discovered he has a lot to do in the field. So
yeah,
he's helping, he's doing what he can to help.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to a confession. Every time I'll be like, yeah, I have to come to the voice training. And I'll be looking at it on
Uh,
Instagram like, I'm not ready to
yeah.
sing. I'm like, So I keep looking at it, but
Yeah, man.
in due time, I'll
Yeah,
come
man.
here.
You gotta make it happen, Captain.
Not
Yeah.
kidding, bro. Anyway, and I want to know, like, now you who you are now. Just tell me, how was your childhood like when you were growing up?
Yeah. So for me, I lived like a real kind of overprotected lifestyle. My
Mhm.
parents were really, upper middle class, and but they were, very protective over me and my brother. And so, I think in a lot of ways I was sheltered. However, I always had um a creative outlook on things, and I always try to fix things. And growing up, I always felt the importance of whatever I do. How could I do it differently than what everybody else is doing? So
Mhm.
from the music that I was making, to activities, other activities that I would be involved in as well. Just trying to figure out creative ways and
Mhm.
in doing those things. Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, I have fun. I lived here in Charlotte. I grew up in
Mhm.
Charlotte.
Uh-huh.
I was actually raised here, but I was born in Iceland. A lot of
Iceland.
people don't know that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Iceland.
I was born there. I didn't live there longer than a year, but my dad was in the Navy.
Mhm.
And I got a chance, over the last few years to travel and live in New York and
Mhm.
Florida and, be a part of other cultures and circles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It broadens your mind sets
absolutely.
and
It's so
everything you go through.
necessary. Yeah.
That is excellent. So, growing up, you traveled around, born in Iceland, didn't
hmm
live there long enough. Tell me, what event from the time you were young till now, what event wouldn't you ever forget?
Um,
Good or bad?
yeah, so I remember my mother in high school, she used to tell me that um, I needed to practice 3 hours a day, and on piano,
Mm-hmm.
and so to be a better piano player. But the thing that she always told me in addition to that was you have to create a demand for yourself, and that's kind of been like my motto that I've lived with
Mm-hmm.
since she told me that, and everything that I do, and making sure that I'm striving for excellence
Mm-hmm.
in my endeavors, and creating a demand actually happens as a result of um, pursuing excellence and being great. So yeah.
Wow. Your mom told you to demand. something from yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good upbringing. It's a good upbringing to
Yeah.
put a mindset in a kid's mind. It
Sure.
helps nurtures
Absolutely.
the kid in so many ways, throughout life. That is excellent. So
Yeah.
tell me, how did you know, arrive and how or what made you decide to do music and do what you're doing now?
Yeah.
When did you get that idea like, okay, ding, this is it?
Yeah. So I'd say that pretty much happened a couple times. So for example, the
Hmm.
first time I was really introduced to it was in the church. My dad used to be a minister of music,
Hallelujah.
and back in when I was maybe 7 or 8, I remember one Sunday he was like, "I need you to come play drums," and he threw me up in the middle of the church service. I played drums for him while he played keyboards, and
Uh-huh.
I was trash. I was trash, but I held the beat for him, and that was my first experience into the music. But I didn't really like have a it didn't do anything for me at that time. And then my parents signed me up for piano lessons when I was 10, and it was okay. It was okay, but it wasn't something that I wanted to pursue still. But
Hmm.
I was good at it, like quickly. Like I picked up on being able to play and learn the piano very, very, very quickly. And then what did it for me though was when they bought me, gave me my first computer. I think my dad already had the computer. He just took it and fixed it up.
Yeah.
But he bought me Cakewalk as a software, and that's when I started taking music. I was 10, and I just started producing beats.
Wow.
So
At
like
the
by
age
the
of 10.
age of 10, I started making my first beat. So almost every day I come home, and my friends knock on the door like, Jay, can you come outside and play? Nah, I'm making music.
Uh-huh.
And so I had a lot of fun with that. And I think before I was 18, I probably had at least 400 to 500 instrumentals. Yeah. Yeah. Like just instrumentals. Now so that's one phase of life.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, well, during that whole period of like high school
Hmm.
and early adulthood, I still didn't want to pursue, like, I never had the passion of being an artist. Like Jason Jett was never there. Like it was
Hmm.
just, I'm just gonna be a Timbaland or a Pharrell and make beats for
Be
people.
behind the scene.
Yeah, yeah. And so what happened was I moved to go to Full Sail in Florida, and I joined a couple bands. I was in this band called Bop Gun. I was in a band, Kevin Main's band, a real like bluesy type of group.
Hmm.
And just being exposed to those circles and the energy of what it looks and feels like to be in a band, and to see what it feels like to see other writers, right? Peter Baldwin, he was a great writer. He was a
Hmm.
singer in the band, and just seeing like how other artists write and create, I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to
Uh-huh.
try this out. I already make the music.
Yeah, why
All,
not?
all I got to do is write. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So I started recording my first album and writing songs and stuff for school projects that we were in, and it was a lot of fun. I sucked. At that time. I mean,
Hey,
I listened back at that music, it was trash, but that trash music got me, it made me better. Like I had to go through that phase, and thank God I didn't think it was trash then, because if I had of, then I probably would have stopped. You know
yeah,
what I
you would
mean?
have stopped. Yeah, the
Yeah.
same here. I feel the same way. I was trying to record like a 33-second stuff.
Yeah.
I started around 11. I
Uh-huh.
saw it was 1 a.m. when I was done.
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, why?
Right.
But at the end, when I played it, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
So it was trash in the beginning, but when I kept on, I was like, okay, I think I'm getting hold of it.
Yeah.
So it takes time. That
It
is
does.
really good. And so you decided to like, okay, let's go for it. This is what I want to do,
Right.
and that is amazing.
Yeah.
It took him 2 phases
Yeah.
to, okay, this is what I want to pursue as my life career. That is excellent. I'm going to ask you this. Everybody have or has someone they look up to.
Sure.
My little brother here. Yo, shout out to Gordon behind the scene. uh, he looks up to someone. I don't know if it is me or it is the dad. He only knows.
Mhm.
He's watching
Right.
whatever anybody is doing. Who is an icon?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think for me, like, I noticed that I have icons at different points in my life.
Mm.
Like I don't feel like I just have one icon, but I do feel like, in certain seasons and chapters,
Mhm.
I think certain energies and certain people, I use to kind of, um, you know, be inspired by,
Mhm.
right? So like even, um, and not just like people. I feel like it's situations and like opportunities that I feel like are inspiring me as well. But if I had to say all around, like my entire life,
Uh-huh.
um, I'll probably say my parents. Like I feel like just watching them
Mhm.
and seeing how they've evolved from even where we were when I was a child, and just seeing how they've maneuvered in this American lifestyle has been really, really, really dope to me, and that makes me strive for greatness and makes me want to make sure that for my children
Mhm.
that I create a generational blessing for them,
Mhm.
and teach them the mentality, because I think for me, like I said, I mean, there's been different areas of my life where other people have feel that iconic role,
Mhm.
um, and help kind of cultivate my mindset, you know. But yeah,
That
the
is
answers.
that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. There is this Newton's law. I'm going to paraphrase it. From now, I still don't know the law, but I'm going to paraphrase it. It's been like 3 years, and I still don't know the law.
Oh
So
Lord.
I'm going to paraphrase it. It says something like, in order for you to go up, you have to leave some things behind.
Sure.
So you coming up in this industry with what you're doing, what did you had to leave behind emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually? What did you think you had to leave behind in order for you to see the gradual progress you're
hmm
seeing now?
Um, doubt
Doubt.
and fear. I think that in this industry, um, you can't be afraid.
Mhm.
You have to be very, very stern and very assertive
Mhm.
with it, especially as an independent artist and creator, because you um, you have so many hats to fill, and if you don't have a team around you, or a label backing you, or different things in place to kind of help kind of do these things for you, you have to be very very, very cunning when it comes to your endeavors and how you navigate. So I think, like in my situation, like there were seasons where I doubted, and I feared, and I allowed that to kind of control um, the ship. And so now where I'm at in life, it's like, okay, those seasons are gone, and I came out of them, yes, but I didn't come out maybe where I quite wanted to in
Mhm.
those situations where I could have, if I had of been a little bit more um, you know courageous
Mhm.
and brave. Yeah.
Gorgeous. So you had to leave fear. You had to leave fear and doubt
Yeah,
behind so
for
that you
sure.
can see the progress you're seeing now. That is excellent. That is amazing. Wow. Because fear,
Yeah.
fear comes in different forms.
Yeah,
Not
man.
kidding.
Man, sometimes fear can look good. Like
Hey.
it can really paint a nice picture, like a whole different opportunity. But is that opportunity even gonna aid you in where you really need to be?
You need to be.
Because sometimes success hurts.
Oh,
You know
say
what I
that
mean?
again. Yeah.
Like, and people think that because it feels good, that means you're successful.
Hmm.
Well, that's not always true.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to kind of decipher between, what's what's this instant gratification gonna do versus, maybe a little instant hurt, but if it's gonna help where I'm gonna go in the long run, then maybe that's the route I need to take. You know.
Yeah. It's
Mm,
so true. Some people, looking at some people's life, when they talk about what they've been through and what they've achieved,
right.
you get to see that success is clearer sometimes. The bigger picture is clearer, but the
hmm
process is sometimes blurry.
Right.
and you wouldn't know what to do at certain points.
Yeah.
That is so good. That's so good to hear that from you. So at this point, let me ask you, Jason Jet. Jason Jet. Let me ask you. Hey, by the way, how did you get your name? Tell me. I think you told you
Yeah.
said something about it some time ago.
Yeah, man.
How did you get your name?
So I was in the band in Florida, Bop Gun,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that we came up with nicknames for everybody in the band. So one of the names that they came up with for me was Jason Jet because of some of the sounds that I was using in the shows and the concerts. We would do a lot of in the productions. It would be a lot of like synthesizers, a lot of like spacey, airplane type of sounds and stuff on the keyboards.
Yeah.
So that's how I got that name. Yeah, Jason Jet, and
Jason
it was really originally Jason Jet plane.
Jason Jet plane.
Yeah,
Where they plane? You dropped it?
yeah, the plane crashed.
Okay. All right, now we're going on a jet. All right, that is amazing, Jason Jet. All right, so let me ask you, with all you do,
Yeah.
what is your source of creativity?
That's a good question. Now it's my family and my children and my my thought process of how do I create something that's going to live beyond me, and I think that inspires me to create new things and new sounds and new just a new life. It kind of affords me that ability when I think from that perspective. When I think about just what I want to do in my life, then I mean that feels very small to me. As an individual, when I think about my children got to live beyond me, and I'm going to have the ability to influence people forever, then it makes you want to think bigger.
It's not just yourself.
Nah, it's not just myself. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I have a family.
Yeah.
That is so amazing, Jason. So I always say this before I ask this question. I want to know from you, but before I do,
Yeah.
there are certain things we do to get certain results.
Right.
You do certain things on the keyboard, you get a sound you want. You mess up, we gotta
Right.
start again.
Yeah.
So, since we do certain things to get the results we want and do certain things to not really get the results we want, what are some of the things you are doing now, little by little, here and there, that is contributing to the progress you're seeing?
So for me now, I feel like life has so many different colors
Mm-hmm.
and tones and shades of colors. And so in order to tell that story, I couldn't just be a singer. I can't just be an artist, a musician, to paint the full picture of that, because that's not what all life consists of. So like for now, I'm getting more into like wealth building, real estate,
Mm-hmm.
agriculture, growing my own food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like financial literacy.
Uh-huh.
Different things that I feel like are gonna really aid in my future and my family's future, and and the community. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a huge gap right now in the education, real life education in our community, black or white. You know what I mean? But especially our people. Like I feel like there needs to be more education, and not just music, but financial literacy, real estate, agriculture. We should all be able to have those different. I feel like be able to wear different hats to accomplish some of these goals, because in learning those different things, they make you a lot more confident as a person and build your mindset and your mentality. So learning these other aspects of life, I feel like for survival and is necessary. So that's kind of where I feel like I'm at now. Yeah.
That is so good. That is so good. And that was him right there. You have to learn a lot so that you can be confident. At best, do a lot so that you
Absolutely.
become confident in life with
Yeah.
wherever you go.
Absolutely.
That is so great to hear from you. And I hope anybody out there, if you're watching or you're listening, you're getting something from what he's saying or it's complementing what you already know. So, Jason, let me ask you this question. We are about to wrap up.
Okay.
This music industry you're in, the music industry, what are your views?
Oh, man, it's a great time to be in the music industry right now.
Mhm.
I think as an artist, I say that as an artist because there's so many ways to get your music out there and promote yourself
Mhm.
and your brand. However, it's a I should say an informed artist, an educated artist. Now, if you're not informed and not educated enough in the music industry and what goes on and the legalities of being in the industry, then I think it can be a little bit more challenging for you as an artist. But if you understand how to do everything from the beginning to end of releasing your music and your videos, your content, copyrights, publishing, all of that kind of stuff, then it can be very, very good for you. You just got to know how to move. Now, being signed to a label and all of that is a whole different ball game. I've been fortunate enough to be signed to a demo deal to Interscope Records before.
Mhm.
I've taken meetings with Atlantic Records,
Mhm.
Warner Brothers. I mean, you name it. I've been there and done it, and I've opened up for big acts too.
Mhm.
And so I've seen on a higher tier of what it looks like to be in the industry. It takes a certain amount of discipline, sacrifice,
Yeah.
and work. You know what I mean? Like, but sacrifice. You know what I mean?
Sacrifice.
Like, and not like a bad sacrifice, but just to be on a level and operate where you're like a Beyonce or Jay or Kanye or anybody on that level getting paid hundreds of thousands for a show. And you got to put in work like every day, like every
Every
day,
day.
day and night, like. And you got to have people around you that can kind of help, open some doors for you
Mhm.
too. Like, if there's one thing that I feel like people, or I should have known, like when I was younger, when I would have worked on my people skills. I would have worked on my networking
Mhm.
abilities and ability to market myself and or not just me, but like market brands and build brands and like applying that information to your artistry is a dangerous weapon right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I have last but one thing I want to know. And this at this point we are going to gossip. And nobody is going to hear about this.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's going to be out there if you choose to listen in. Good eavesdrop.
Oh
So let me
man.
ask you, we're going to talk about, you can compliment, you can vent, you can say certain things that you don't like, certain things you like out there, good or bad out there, issues you want to address.
Man. Ah man. It doesn't matter what team LeBron's going to. They're not going to be Golden State.
Okay.
Yo, but nah, for real though, man. I feel like I don't really have too much gossip.
Gossip, compliment, vent. Let's
Yeah.
forget about the gossip. Random, public figure. Um, my brother being a public figure, you can say he's doing something not good. You can blast him or just
Yo.
anything.
Ah man. I ain't got nothing.
Yeah,
I
nah.
ain't got
Okay,
nothing.
compliment yourself then. What are you up to?
Man, I definitely say like this year has been it's been a blessing because
Uh-huh.
I've been able to see uh, a lot of opportunity in just educating myself and
Mhm.
educating my family and it's been beautiful. Shouts out to Deasia, my
Hey,
beautiful lady,
shout out to Deasia.
beautiful queen, and Asaya. Asaya
Oh,
Jones.
little baby.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah,
huh.
yeah. So he's 11 months. 11 months this month. He's almost a year
A
old.
year old.
God, that's crazy.
Wow,
Time flies.
time flies.
Yeah, so he's been everything to us, and you know, I just just the one thing I want to drive home for everyone. I just want everybody to really be assertive with building wealth, and it's not all about money, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you don't come from a educated family on financial literacy, then you kind of do have to kind of focus your energy on building that financial literacy, because there's people out here doing it,
Mm-hmm.
spent their whole lives, learning about wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think I shun anyone who tells me or any of my friends that, you shouldn't be thinking about money or thinking about wealth, because I think that's completely wrong. While these people out here are doing it and, living nicely, you know what I mean? So like, I just encourage people to like make sure you give energy to where you need to strengthen. Yeah.
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 Don't think about money. Who says that? I don't
Yo.
know. Not probably a person who is rich or wealthy in the sense of money or in the
Yeah,
sense of
you'd be surprised.
wisdom. Jew, look, listen. This, hey, imagine right now if someone is ill, goes to the hospital,
Right.
no insurance.
Right.
How on earth are they going to get the money to pay the doctor? Like, you gotta pay some rent and have some money to save and have
Right.
some money to, an FU money which you can give away.
Right.
To help someone needy. When you gotta at least make more than what you want so that you can help people who are not capable at
That's
certain
right.
point.
Yep. Yep.
Cause anyway, enough. Who says? Okay. Oh, well, yeah. Let
you'd
let
be
it pass.
surprised.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So now this is the final act. Tell me, Jason, what did you wish you knew when you were coming up with what you're doing, on what you're doing? What did you wish you knew before? As
Oh,
of
that
now.
piece, that financial literacy. I wish I got that. Economic literacy,
Mhm.
all of that. I feel like I was exposed to it a little bit.
Mhm.
My dad used to ride around with the Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Mhm.
CDs playing in the car, which is really, really dope. You know what I mean? I don't know too many, parents that did that, but you know, I wish there was like actual education behind, you know, stocks, investing, building that generational wealth.
Mhm.
I think that's something that now I'm like very, very passionate about. So I wish I knew that. I feel like that would have taken me like way farther quicker.
Way farther quicker.
Yeah. Like for example, like when I was like 20,
Mhm.
I had an opportunity, and I don't even think my parents know this, but I was scouting out properties. I was actually looking into investing then, and I backed out of it at the last second because I was gonna move to Florida, but I was gonna buy my first rental property.
Wow.
And so like now that I'm like all back into that space again, I'm like, oh dang, well, what if I had a did that? You know what I mean? Like, what if I had at 20? What path would I been on? Would have been on?
It's never too late.
Nah, it's not too late.
Not too late.
Nah.
It'll start from one rental property, then it goes to two, then he becomes hungry and grind for more and more. Then next you know he has a whole town.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can still do my music.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
can
mean?
still
So
do your
still
music.
do my music.
Yeah.
So
I feel you on that. That is so amazing, Jason. And at this point, you're going to perform something little of what you do. And before you do, tell them where can they find you, what you're
yeah.
up to, in case someone wants to reach out to you. It's going to be in the description on YouTube, also in iTunes, any place you be listening this. Just check the description. You're going to see a link to what he does and more information about him.
Yeah. So before I do that, I also want to plug Creative Indie.
Hmm.
So Creative Indie is a company I started in 2015, and the whole premise of it is building a music community here in Charlotte
Hmm.
and abroad as well, but in Charlotte mainly, that we kind of like stabilize the music scene here. So creating different events, programs, seminars. We're working on some seminars now, and we also host a summer camp. So young icons recording camp where kids come in, and we teach them how to write songs. We
Hmm.
teach them how and what it feels like to be a recording artist in the studio, and stage presence, choreography, and all of that. So we actually have another session coming up in August, August 6th through 10th. So for more info on that too, it's www.creative, and that's spelled with a K, indies, INDIES.com. And I know you'll have a link on there too.
Yeah, I'll put a link up to that one
Okay.
too. And does it happen every month?
So for the summertime, well, this year we're doing two sessions.
Okay.
So we just did the first one in June, and the last one will be in August. So, but we do want to make it something to where it can be a full summer.
Hmm.
So next year it's going to be a lot bigger and better. These kids are recording in $1 million studio, Studio East.
Hmm.
Everybody from James Brown to Whitney Houston, to Beyonce and Jay-Z, all these people have stepped foot in that studio and recorded. So it's a really great experience. And then my website is jasonjetmusic.com.
JasonJetMusic.com.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. Jason.
Yeah, man.
Okay, as I said, you will be performing something little from what you do. So
me on
we're
the
going to
spot.
plug in the sound and he going to be
Yeah.
sometimes
Okay.
I wish
let's
that
go.
I...
Let's go. That's
Okay.
that when I'm gone.
Hey, do
They don't
one
want
something
that.
else. Let's see. All right. That was amazing. All right. Now he's about to perform what he has, and you can find more joints. I mean joints, music, not joint, in the description, so that you can know more music of like what he does, more of what he does. So, Jason,
Yeah.
the floor is yours,
My
or
man.
the sky is yours. Jason Jet.
So,
All right.
So this song is unreleased. It's a new single I'm dropping this year. It's called Time Machine.
Time Machine.
And I'm gonna do the hook. I gave you a taste of the hook. So here we
Uh-huh.
go.
Got people looking, it doesn't matter, and I don't care.
Alright, in my time machine, we can go wherever you please, girl. Let's go on an odyssey, where the dance floor gets no sleep, child. Ride in my time machine, we can go wherever you please, girl. Let's go on an odyssey, where the dance floor gets no sleep, no.
Yeah, man.
Time Machine, where the dance gets no sleep.
Where the dance floor gets no sleep.
Uh-oh. Where the
Yeah.
yeah. That's amazing. So that was The Time Machine by Jason Jet. He just gave a little bit hook, and you can find more or listen to a complete music when you check the description or you follow him. So it was a pleasure, Jason.
Yes,
And
sir.
by the way, before, thank you all for watching. If you're watching, if you're listening, thank you a lot. This is Creativity is an Idea podcast, and I am your host, Pyeric. And this was Jason Jet, our guest.
My man, thank you so much.
It
This
was
is a
a
beautiful
pleasure, man.
platform. Yeah,
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I know him way, way back.
Oh yeah.
Deasia brought me into modeling. I'm no more in modeling anymore. And, she has been a great friend. She has been inspiring. Yeah, a lot. We sit down, we talk about intellectual stuff, what she's up to, discipline, and all those stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It was a pleasure, man.
Man,
And
likewise.
blessings, more blessings to your family.
Man, thank you. Man.
Yeah, more
Yours too?
blessings to the family.
You and your company?
Yeah,
Oh,
my
bro,
company,
cool.
and
Closing.
it's coming up. It's
It's
coming up.
coming.
It's coming up. All right, you can decide to stop watching. By the way, anyway, it's a great man.
Man,
It's a great
my man.
pleasure.
Appreciate you.
It's a great pleasure. All right.